Hey. I don't know how to do this intro, but here we are. So, in honor of Halloween, I don't really celebrate Halloween, but in honor of Halloween, let me tell you about my wisdom teeth extraction horror story. So, a couple weeks ago, I went to have my wisdom teeth extracted, all four of them, one day. Which when I told people this, they looked at me like I was crazy. They were like, huh? Like all four of them? And I was like, yeah, because might as well, if I'm going to be in pain, might as well just do everything at once. Boom, bam, done, right? Except my wisdom teeth were like, no girl, what? We're not going anywhere. So went there. It was scheduled for an hour and a half. So initially when I did the consultation, they told me I could either have it done at the dental clinic under local anesthetic, or have it done at a hospital where you get general anesthesia, right? So I was like, don't really want to do the general anesthesia thing, don't want to do the hospital thing, especially because if you do it at the hospital, you have to wait 4 hours at the hospital for the general anesthesia to wear off. So I was like, no, I'm busy. I got work. I got things to do. So I decided to do it at the dental clinic. So all four in an hour and a half. Okay. When I told people this, they thought I was batshit crazy. They thought I was mad to do all four at once. And then even more, they were like, huh? You're not doing it at the hospital? Da 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 da. So I was like, blah blah blah. Anyways, went there, sat down, and the guy was like, okay, so I'm gonna, like, he explained all four of them. And then he was like, okay, the one at the bottom here, he will like put sutures because he actually has to cut into my gum because like the tooth was completely below and it was horizontal. So I was like, okay, sure. So he started. He gave me the anesthetic, all four places. So I was like, cool. So he's like, yeah, you might feel a little bit of pressure, a little bit of pulling. It's okay, that's fine. So then he starts on the top one here. I was like, okay, I can feel that. So, but I was like, no, maybe it's just like the pulling, like he's pulling my tooth. So like, so I was like, And then I could feel it even more. So I was like, no, ow. So he looked at me and he was like, can you feel that? So I was like, yeah. And he's like, are you sure it's not like the pulling? Like, are you sure it's pain? So I was like, I think it's pain. But I was like, okay, wait a bit. And he continued. And I was like, no, it hurts. So he had to give me more anesthetic. So then he's pulling. The tooth said no. It did not want to come out. So he had to start to drill into the tooth to try to cut it to smaller pieces. Maybe it would be like easier to extract. Except no, because my tooth, it was like, no, honey, we're not going anywhere. So he was there like cutting, breaking, and all of that till he removed about 75% of it. And it was just the root that was left. So I was like, okay, cool. Goes to the other side up top. At the time, I didn't know this, but what he did at the top, when I heard him drilling, was to cut off the bone, because apparently there was bone that was grown over the space for the wisdom tooth. So the wisdom tooth was completely below. I mean, it still is completely below the gum. So the drilling that I heard him doing and what I thought I saw was tooth was actually no bone. So he removed like the bone that was covering. Pull, nothing. My tooth was like, no, honey, we're not going anywhere. So at this point, he kind of stopped and he was there discussing with the dental assistant. And I was just there lying there like, what's up? Like, what you guys doing? And all of this thing, because they're discussing. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's more difficult than we thought. So at this point, he comes back over and he was like, yeah, we're having a little bit of trouble because the tooth, like the root is like really infused into the bone. So I was like, okay, sure. Okay. So then he goes down to the bottom one here and he starts drilling, starts pulling. Same thing. Tooth was like, no way, I'm fine where I'm at. So at this point, I started to feel it because the anesthetic started to wear off. So I was like, yo. So he gave me more anesthetic and he continued. So he's drilling, he's breaking, and all of this, trying to pop pieces off the tooth. But it got really bad that I could still feel it. I think this one is a little bit more sensitive than the other ones. Like the nerve in this one is a little bit more sensitive, which you will hear later on because it's part 2, right? Part 2 parts. We didn't get all 4 in one go. So started to feel it and it was really bad to the point where the dental assistant looked at me and she was like, are you okay? So I was like, no, because it really hurts. So then he was like, okay, it's fine, we can stop there, because we actually went over time, which I didn't realize, but we went over the 1 hour 30 minutes, and because of my weight he couldn't give me any more anesthetic because he already gave me a lot. So he was like, okay, we're gonna stop here for today. So this one did not get touched at all. So then like he was explaining that, okay, so we had a problem because we didn't expect your teeth to be like that fused. I don't know like the translation because all of this took place in French. So I don't remember the word he used, but he was like saying something along the lines like the root is like really stuck to the bone. So for this one, he removed 75% of it, 80%. So only a little part of the root was left. And this one did not remove at all. He just removed the bone that was covering it. And then the one at the bottom, he removed about, I'd say like 60%. So there was like a good part that he still needed to remove. That was not the root, like more than the root was left. So he's like, so we have to go back and finish taking off those pieces and then do the one over here. And then he was like, we're gonna reattempt the one up here. So I was like, okay. So we scheduled it for the following week. So 1 week, swollen face, all of that, living on liquid foods, and then went back the following week. So went back, and then he's like, just to check up, like, how was everything? Like, any crazy pain, swelling, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, no, like, it's okay. Like the first couple of days, yeah, a little bit of pain, but then it was fine, blah, whatevs. So, okay, he's like, okay, he's gonna finish this one, reattempt that one, and then he's gonna remove that one. He left this one for last because I guess it's the most complicated one. All of them were complicated. Let's just say all of them were complicated. So anesthetic here, anesthetic here, anesthetic here. He starts down here. So he's going. And at this point, I'm like, dude, I can feel that. So because like he was like doing something, so I couldn't really speak because the equipment was in my mouth there. So he stopped and he was like, okay, use your words, what's up? So I was like, I can feel it, like whatever you're doing here, I can feel it. So he's like, what, like really? So then he gave me more anesthetic and he continued because he was trying to get as much as possible because he only wanted to leave like a small part of the root, because according to him, I don't know, any dentists, orthodontist, whoever, people off the internet who are licensed professional, you can let me know if this is correct or not, but he was saying that leaving the root, like just a small part of the root, it's okay, shouldn't cause an issue. And he was saying like most people, it will stay in place, it will stay where it is, or over time, I don't know how much time, but over time it will come up by itself. So I was like, okay, sure, you're the professional, leave it at that. So he was there and he was still there trying to remove as much as possible. He got most of it, but he wanted to, I don't know. Anyways, so at this point I was like, no, ow, like that really hurts, because I think the nerve. I think the nerve on this side was like more sensitive than the others. So he looked at me and he was like, are you sure? Like, I was like, yeah, dude. Like, I know what I'm feeling. So he stopped and he was there discussing with the dental assistant. And at this point, no one is touching my mouth. No one is touching my tooth, nothing. But I feel a throbbing. This is how I know like it's probably the nerve. I feel like a throbbing pain. So I was like, yo, I know you're not doing anything, but it hurts. And he's like, huh? So he gave me more anesthetic there. And then he started over here. He didn't go there, like at the top part. He just went over to this side. I guess as well because of time. So he started this one. He cut into the gum. And then he started, same thing, breaking the tooth to make it more easily like extractable, I guess. And he was there fighting and pulling and fighting. Same thing, my tooth was like, no sir, we're good where we at. Like, tooth did not want to move. So he was there fighting, drilling, breaking, and he was fighting for a good couple minutes. Then out of nowhere, I don't know what he did, like he touched a part, he was about to do something, only for me to see the tooth, like piece of tooth, fly across the room. So I started dying with laughter, and the dental assistant, she's dying. So he looks at us and he's like, you saw that? I was like, yeah, dude, like it flew like that. So then he was like, imagine after all this time, he's fighting with the tooth and it doesn't want to budge. And then he did nothing and then fly. Like it flew across the room. So same thing, like he tried to get as much as possible, and especially because this one was horizontal, it was a little bit more complex. So he tried to get as much as possible to leave just the root, because the root is like really stuck there. And at this point, like we went over the time that was scheduled and the other patient was waiting. So he was like, okay, I don't want to torture you anymore, because he doesn't want to go and attempt this one. So he was like, I'm gonna do an x-ray to show you how much we extracted, blah, 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 whatever. So he showed me like the before and after. So he showed me the scans before he started. And then he showed me what he extracted. So like all three, he took off most of it. And it's just like a tiny bit of the root that's left here. And then this one, just the bone that was covering the space for the wisdom tooth, he took out, and then he left the tooth. So he's like, maybe over time it will push up by itself or it stay where it is. We don't know. That's done. So I was like, okay, cool. Fun stuff. But then the thing that I was kind of like, huh? It's because like he looked at me and he was like saying to me like, everyone in this dental clinic, they know me by now. Like they know the story, because everyone like has been talking about my wisdom teeth. Because even when I went back, because the whole reason I removed the wisdom teeth was to straighten my teeth. So when I went back to my orthodontist, she was like, oh, how are you? Like I heard what happened. Because of course he had to like speak to her to check like if it's okay to leave the one here, if like enough space is there and whatever. So she was like, are you okay? Like I heard what happened. And so I was like, I'm traumatized. Like, no, that was very traumatic. I did not, And she was like, I'm so sorry. Like she felt so bad. But back to the point. The thing that he said, where I was kind of like looking at him like, huh? Like, is that like a legit medical thing? Like, did people do research? Was he said, because when he was like explaining everything and he was like, yeah, we didn't expect it to be that difficult. Like usually when they remove wisdom teeth, it's just like boom, removed very quickly, very easily removed, whatever. So he was like, yeah, it's unusual. And then he was like, yeah, usually we see this in patients of like African descent, like because people of African descent, their teeth are stronger than like everyone. And I'm just looking at him like, okay, Is that like a legit medical thing? Like, has this been medically proven? And then he was like, yeah, and usually once you hit like 30 and over, like your teeth like really solidify. I don't remember what he said, especially like the words he used. I don't remember. And it was in French, so to think of the French words plus to translate it. But basically he was like, yeah. And then he was like, he asked me if I've ever removed or lost a tooth over the years. So I was like, no. So then he's like, oh yeah, so probably it's like genetic thing or something like that. So I was like, okay, I guess I have strong teeth. That's good, I guess. But is this like a medical fact? Like, as I said, dentists, orthodontists, people in the teeth field. You can let me know. Let me know in the comments below. Is this like an actual thing? Do people of like African descent have stronger teeth than my non-melanated people? Like, is this a thing? Anyways, also feel free, let me know, what was your wisdom teeth extraction story? What was your experience? Was it anything like this, or was it easy peasy? Let me know.